Welcome to the Product Sessions, episode 9. This episode is called How to Make Money at a Pop-Up Shop or Pop-Up Market. So first, let's define what a pop-up shop or market is, because I think it means different things to different people. So today I am talking about the type of pop-up market where a bunch of brands come together, everyone has a booth, and you set up your display with your products and you sell them. And this could be at several different types of locations. Sometimes people do it at like a farmer's market, or people do it at schools in the area, or in parking lots outside shopping malls, at a park. Those are some different places that I've done pop-up shops. And for me, I follow these groups on Instagram that host these events, and you'll pay them a fee so that your brand can be one of the booths at this pop-up market. I'm in Southern California, and so some of the groups that I use here in Orange County are Creative Communal, Creative Babes, OC Connect, Female Makers. I just recently did the Mermaid Market for the first time. That one was good. And some of my most successful pop-up markets have been at schools. So my son's elementary school and then the local high school has a pop-up market. I've also done events at people's houses. There's all kinds of different ones to do. And some are better than others. One thing that I've noticed about pop-up shops is you'll see a lot of the same brands doing them. Once you've done a few, you start to see a similar group of people showing up, and they kind of become your friends. And what I've learned is that a lot of people do this, just pop-up shops, for a living with their brand. They might have an online shop, but this is the main source of their sales, is they go from shop to shop to shop. I've talked to a few that have like 3 or 4 a week, where they just pile up their car and, unload their shop 3 or 4 times a week. And to me, that sounds very overwhelming, but people do really well with it. And in fact, there's this one brand that I follow. I think her name is Cactus Jane. She's very nice, and I always want to buy all her products, but I try to refrain because I have to make money instead of spend money at these markets. But I noticed that she recently opened up her own brick and mortar store, and I thought that's so cool. What a cool step into having your own brick and mortar store by doing these pop-up markets. So I know a lot of people are really successful, and this can be a great way to grow your brand, increase awareness of your brand, and get people into your sales funnel so that they can learn more about you and your products. So that brings me to my first tip for making money at a pop-up shop is you have to try several to see what fits for your brand. So some pop-up markets, I have made a lot of money, and then I will go into the next one thinking this is going to be a huge success, and I pocket $200. So you kind of don't know when it's your first time at a market if it's going to be a good fit for your brand. Like if that's where your target market goes to shop, if it's like a certain event or a certain holiday. Once you try out that market, in the future, usually that's going to be a good one for you if it was good the first time. But some of them are a flop, and you can't beat yourself up over that. You just trial and error. So figure out what works and then keep doing the ones that you sell well at. It is hard to feel, it's a little bit like a feeling of rejection sometimes when you do a pop-up shop and it's not your target market and people just keep walking on past your booth. That's happened to me before, and it felt like high school. Like, where do I sit for lunch? Like, can I be your friend? But you just know that that's not your people, and you move on to the next one. And, I've had great success at other markets. So I can usually remind myself, like, it's not you, it's not your brand, it's not your designs, it's just not a good fit for you. My second tip is kind of similar, but it has to do with networking with the other vendors around you. So start chatting with the vendors around you and become friends with them and tell them what's been working for you, what markets haven't been working for you, and exchange information about that, because some people are very seasoned and they know which pop-up shops to go for, and which ones might be a good fit for your brand. And it's great to have those mutually beneficial relationships where you can kind of share tips with each other. And it can save you a lot of money too. If they say, don't do this one, nobody sold anything, they didn't market it at all, so nobody showed up, you know, to kind of avoid those markets. And then when you're friends with vendors, you can kind of recommend each other to customers. If you make a sale to a customer and you see that they have jewelry, you should say, oh, I like your ring. Go check out this booth over here. They do permanent jewelry or whatever. You kind of help lift each other up in that way. Okay, my third tip, and a tip that I have kind of learned the hard way, is don't overspend on your booth display. It can be hard to not buy all the things that you know will make your booth beautiful. You know, a little bit of that is good. And my advice is to kind of build up your booth design over time as you know that these markets are successful for you. With the profit from one market, buy a piece of furniture for the next market, something like that. But for me, I have made the mistake of ahead of time, oh, I need to buy this, I need to buy this. And then I don't sell that much at that market to pay back for the supplies that I purchased. I bought an expensive 10 by 10 canopy that I only used once or twice. So be aware of how much you're spending on your booth. And along with that, think about how much you're being charged to be a vendor at these pop-up shops. Compare that to your average, how much you usually sell, to make sure that it's going to be worth it for you to be at that market. I recently did one pop-up market that was pretty expensive, but I had talked to other people that said they made good sales there, and they were brands that were similar to mine. So I felt confident making that plunge, and it paid off. So just something to consider. Consider your display fees and also the entry fee to be at that market to make sure that it's worth it. Okay, and number 4, as we all know, time is money. And time and effort and energy really adds up when you're doing these pop-up markets. I basically disassemble my office here and my she shed. I throw it all in my minivan. I have a very strategic, like Tetris alignment that I know everything's able to fit in there. And so I have learned from experience what things I need to bring and what things I actually never use and just waste my time and energy packing. And so now I don't bring my whole product line. I used to, but I've learned what things sell, and I'll sometimes bring 1 or 2 of my bigger items, but it's for me the more affordable items that I sell the most of at these pop-up markets. My product is a diaper bag, and I have found that when people buy diaper bags, they've usually been doing a lot of research and they put it on their baby registry. It's not as common to buy one on the spur of the moment. So my more affordable, smaller items are more of a spur of moment buys. And those are the things I sell the most of. So those are the things I bring with me. I used to bring 2 whole shelves with me, and now I just bring 1. I figured out how to display all the things I need to on just that one shelf. And that saves me so much time and effort, and my back thanks me for only having to do that one time. So here's a list of the things I've learned that you need to bring with you when you're doing a pop-up. Number 1, bring a wagon. You will want a wagon, like one of those little wagons that people take their kids to Disneyland in or the beach in or whatever. It folds up. Get one on Craigslist. You will want that because where you park is not necessarily always close to where your booth is, and you'll have to make multiple trips, and the wagon saves you. So number 1, bring a wagon. Bring your best sellers and your more affordable items and your display furniture, whatever you need to display your product nicely. Bring some sort of signage that has a photo of your products being used and kind of expresses the lifestyle that fits your brand and that has your logo on it. That's what I use. Some people have big signs with their brand name on it. I have like big photo displays that have my brand name and my product being used on it. Another thing you're going to need to bring, usually you'll bring your own table and tablecloth. Very important is your business cards. I bring lots of business cards, and then also I have these little inserts that I put in my shipping boxes, and it tells a little bit about my brand, and I bring those with me too. And so if people decide they don't want to buy that day, they can take those items with them, put them in their purse, and they'll pull them out later and remember, oh yeah, I like that brand. And hopefully they'll follow you on social or whatever to stay up with your brand and get in that funnel to learn more about your products. Bring some kind of decorations. I like to bring, I have a couple, what are those called? Succulents. I have a couple succulents, some little like metal decorations. I have some coral. I just have some like fun decorative items that fit my brand and make my booth inviting. You're going to need your phone and some sort of software to sell your products. It's called Shopify POS, which means point of sale. And that links directly to my Shopify account and my inventory. So whenever I sell an item, it automatically deducts it from my regular inventory. And then if they pay with card, it collects their information that's associated with their card, which is kind of nice so that you have that customer's information. I also accept payments via Venmo and cash. Bring some sort of cash box with change because people do still pay with cash. Not a lot, but how sad would that be to not get a sale because you didn't have change for someone? So it's always a good idea to bring a change box. I have noticed a lot of people using Zelle lately. I haven't yet set up a Zelle, but I have heard that they have lower or possibly no service fees associated with it, like credit cards and Venmo do. They charge you like a service fee. So Zelle might be a good option for you to look into. Make sure you bring some sort of external battery. I have a little external battery that my phone dies and I will need to keep that charged or I can't make a sale. So yeah, bring some kind of external battery and a cord to connect your phone to it. Do not forget snacks and water. I have made that mistake before and it's the worst. You got to keep yourself hydrated and fed, and especially if you're running your booth all by yourself, you're going to need to have that with you because you probably won't want to walk away from all your merchandise to go get some food and stand in line to feed yourself. Shopping bags. There's no other time where I really need shopping bags except for when I'm doing a pop-up market. So I just buy affordable craft shopping bags. It's cute to have ones with your name on it. Maybe, if you have that to spend, it's fun marketing material, but I think just a cute plain shopping bag is nice for your customers. And the last couple things, a chair. I have forgotten a chair before. Never fun to stand for 5 or 6 hours straight. And then some sort of sun protection. I have forgotten that before too. Like a hat, if you're facing the sun, it's the worst. So bring some kind of sun protection. That's just the mother in me, just reminding everyone to take care of themselves so that you don't have a miserable experience out there. Okay, now let's talk about the sales approach. Some people just have a knack for sales. I am not one of those people, but if you are, that's amazing and so cool. I have found after doing many of these, I've gotten a little bit better at it. And my technique is just to be friendly and try to make conversation with people. Ask them about themselves, what they're doing that day. And then also, I just spend a lot of time sharing information. Like if they're walking by my booth and they're looking at my straps, some people are confused about what the straps are for. And they walk by and I say, they're straps for any bag. You can hook them on any bag as long as they have loops on your bag. You can clip them on. And people are like, oh, that's so interesting. Because people have been confused. They think they're guitar straps or dog leashes. And so just be informative about what your product does. Another tip is to dress in a way that fits your brand And if your products are wearable or usable in that moment, use them. I always wear one of my bags and straps to show people how you can wear it and that you can transform it from crossbody into a fanny pack or wear it across your chest, just to sort of display it and then also show like, I'm the target customer. And that kind of, I think, inspires people to buy and understand your brand a little bit more. I've kind of learned from experience what kind of questions people have and what type of conversation to make. And the more you practice it, the better you will get at it. It's funny how that happens. Like, I hate talking on the phone for some reason. And I've had jobs where that's, part of my daily tasks is talking on the phone. And from that, I have learned and gotten much better at it. And I think this is similar. The more you practice your sales techniques, the better you'll get at it. Just be friendly and share information about your products. And my last point is to lift others up around you. It's hard work out there at a pop-up shop. Encourage those around you. Help others to make sales, share the information. And I think that will come back to you. If you help others, others will help you, and people will be wanting to support your brand. So I hope this episode really helped you and that you're able to find success doing pop-up shops. Please leave a comment or question if there's something I left out that you think might help you. Next week, I'm really excited. I have my friend Hans on. He started a company called Tentacle. It's an accessory for your phone. I use mine all the time, and he shares the process that he went through to have his product made. It was a very unique process because it's a very unique product. And also, we're going to discuss all of the ways that you're able to raise funds for your new brand or product, including being on Shark Tank. He was on Shark Tank. He got a deal with Damon, and we're going to talk all about that. So that's next week, and I will see you then.